approach control, things like that. They'll have a screen over here, and they have one guy watching the northern sector. You know, Miami approach, this is United 676 Heavy, out of 13-4-12. Roger, 676 Heavy, 13-12. You know, all this stuff. They got another guy. He's watching planes coming in from the east. Another guy watching planes from the west. Over in the corner, there's a little guy sitting there. He's got one little headset, one little microphone. His job, the low-flying planes from Colombia. I was listening to him. You hear this on the loudspeaker. Hey man, I want to land my plane on 50 feet over Puerto Rico. Get me down, man. Okay, man, what you got? What's your number, man? What's your number, man? You kidding with what I got on board, man? Get me down, park me in the back. I'm meeting friends, man. Thank you very much.
Paul Foreman, ladies and gentlemen. Paul Foreman. That's the one, yes, I got it.
Yeah, man.
Oh. Back.
I can't get a beer?
You can get a beer. Maybe feel free to get up and get a beer.
Okay.
But this is good. This is a bar, isn't it? Cheers, Sam Malone. How are you, Sam? No. But Paul Farmer, he's a good guy. He's Spanish. I like pink. But you know, other than being Spanish, the other day I'm out playing golf. You know, and the golf's the only civilized game anymore. Golf's a good game. So me and a buddy of mine are playing around the links, you know, looking good. So this threesome comes by and they ask if they can play through. I said, sure, go ahead, you know, we're not that good. So the first guy gets up, he's got this long gray beard. And it's like, I turned to my friend, I said, isn't that Moses? He's like, yeah, it's Moses. Well, Moses gets up, he's a pretty good golfer, and he shoots a shot, it hooks right in a little pond, you know. So it's like, this didn't bother Moses. And he goes up, he parts the water, gets up, chips the ball, it's about a foot from the cup. I'm like, hey, Mo, nice shot, dude. So the next guy gets up, a good-looking guy, thin beard, blue eyes, and it's like, isn't that Jesus? He's like, yeah, it's Jesus. You know, so Jesus gets up, he's got a nice form, and he hits a beautiful shot, but it slices right on a lily pad in that same pond. Well, didn't bother Jesus then. He walks on the water, gets up, chips it 6 inches from the cup, like JC. You could have used a 7 on that hole, but hey, nice job. So then the last guy gets this little senior citizen. He didn't look like a real good golfer, and he gets in there, you know, and he hits the ball, and goes straight up, turns, heads right for the little pond. All of a sudden, the fish jumps out of the pond, gets the ball in its mouth. Before it hits the water, an eagle comes by, scoops up the fish, drops it on the green. The ball goes out of the fish's mouth, into the hole, hole in one. Jesus turns to the little senior citizen and says, nice shot, Dad. Stop screwing around and play golf. I'm like, I thought that guy looked like George Burns, man. He looked just like him. He had a little hat and the glasses, you know. I don't know. They played a pretty good game. But I just became Catholic, you know, about a year ago. It was real good. I got confirmed, baptized, communion, and penance all on the same day.
Wow.
it was like a Kmart special, shoppers, communion, baptism, right in here. Okay, right over there. I took the course. We talked philosophy, you know, and I'm telling this, you know, why is there air? And the guy's like, well, you know, you're gonna have to. So we're sitting there, and we're in there the first day, and my brother's with me, and they say, we're now going to baptize you. This will abolish all your sins up to this point. So my brother looks at his watch. He says, wait, it's only 4 o'clock. You want to go out and get a couple more sins before you get through this? My brother's going to get baptized the day before he dies. He kind of figures, I ain't going to hell, no way. But you know, I'm not from a religious family, but my mom was Baptist. She was from North Philly, and they had a real nice, you know, set of congregation. They had the silk robes, and a couple of deacons up there, and then they had like a real nice baptism pool, 2 lifeguards, 3-meter board. I mean, it's a gorgeous thing. It's North Philly. I loved it, you know. I thought being Catholic was kind of neat, but for the first year, it's like I'm up there, I'm telling God to steal second. And he never got picked off in second. I got it quick. He's like, yeah, God, way to go, man. And then we're sitting there and we're in church, and we're doing the you're sitting down, then you stand up, then you kneel down, you sit down, you stand up. It's like squat thrust. I'm going. I turn to my girlfriend. I was like, are they doing this for my benefit? It's like, yo, the fat guy in the third pew, pick it up, pal. Come on, you got to keep up with God. Come on now, get in shape, will you? I'm going. Then we're doing this thing that halfway through the thing, right at the end, and I don't know what's going on. It's my first time. And a guy turns from in front of me, he looks right in my eye, and he says, peace be with you. And I'm like, absolutely, dude, yeah, this guy just told me peace be with me, yeah. And he's telling everybody else I thought that cheap, you know. I thought it was special. I couldn't figure it out. But the big thing, you have that little communion wafer, you know? And this is supposed to turn into the body of Christ and everything. I'm like, do they ever run out? And if they do, if they run out, do they run down to Wawa to get some more? It's like, excuse me, communion wafers? Third row on the right. Okay, I'll get them, thank you. It's like, and who makes them, right? I mean, are they made like the little friars with the outfit and the little bald head, right? Or they're really made by Keebler and Nabisco, right? I mean, this is the body of Christ. Why can't they be made by elves in a hollow tree? You know? You never see the bag? No, they always have them in that little cup, you know? I don't know. Right now we're going to take 5 minutes, you know, a little potty break and all that kind of stuff. We had a couple other people, a man who worked in New York City, a beautiful young lady with large tracts of lambs, and so we're going to have a good time. We have a musical comedian who's going to entertain you. So we're going to 5 minutes, a tight, quick 5 minutes, get you all back in here, the 7 or 8 of you, and we'll play a little basketball. We'll have a good time. You can, you know, have a good time. All right, so 5 minutes, we'll see you back here. Mingle with the comedian. Mingle. Drink. Hey, we're going. Lieutenant Ray Charles. Whoops, this one's like he's blind yesterday. We blow a fuse? Nope. Journey. We blow a fuse? Nope. Journey.
Holy cow!
How many things you got on there?
Hold on!
Where are your fingers, Laura?
Okay, forget it.
Life has Stevie Wonder.
No. That's very much preferable lighting, considering where that one points.
You don't like that one?
I feel like I'm being interrogated.
How long have you been a Republican?
Since birth, it seems.
How you born?
I was born a Republican, it wasn't right.
Between that sideways.
Yeah, I can't. Hey, are we back? We're back. Well, no, we're not. Courtney needs music here. Hey, we're still back on this. Is anybody know what's wrong?
The mic's down too. We blew a fuse. We don't have any heat either. That's
So does the soda machine work?
I could do that.
Well, if we have to, we'll see what we can.
That wasn't big.
You want me to get rid of this?
Yes.
Either that,
Everybody, let's all right there. I want to get rid of
either
it.
that, or maybe you can just go in all, like, there's a whole bunch of tables here, just, all sit there.
We're out of the clinic now. We're fine.
They're coming.
All right. Well, you want to kill this? It's up to you.
Either that or can you go like...
Wait, you're not going to get a video if you get rid of that light.
Yeah, that's true. And we're doing this production company. And we're
Oh, that's even worse. Okay. Just swing that way. Just swing that way.
Right there.
It's good?
I'll just stand here.
That's good. I smell flesh burning. That's good.
Is that better?
Now you're ruining it.
I wrote it.
That's good. Yeah, point it out.
Well, I got tape here. Jersey Physics here. We'll tape it. Yeah, don't worry. I'll hold it. Hey.
Take this down.
How's that?
Yeah.
No.
That's good. That's all good.
How's that?
how long is your underneath?
That's good. That's good.
Morty, hand him the mic.
As soon as your hand gets...
All right, we're back. We're back. Alec. All right. Now, hey, we're glad you all made it back. We didn't run out to the parking lot and leave or something, you know. And nobody been here. We trapped you in here. That's right. It's my car blocking yours. I saw you come in. I'm already. But I just want to tell you real quick. The worst thing happens. The lady who our caravan is named after, Pat Carolyn, who There's a performer herself. She's also usually the MC. Phil and I got hurt yesterday. This is really true.
Right.
She sort of looks like Dolly Parton, okay? Large and big wigs. You got her wig?
No.
Oh. And I was gonna wear his hair weave, you know. And she put on roller skates. She thought this would be real sporty. So she's on this. We were over at Cottrell's on Fridays. Tell your friends. So tell your parents they're coming. And she's out there on the skates, and she's skating around like this, and she catches on the wire and goes, boom! They had a concussion. So she's still in the hospital. So we like to dedicate this game to Pat, and get down on one knee. No, we were so bad, but I wanted her to know that we're thinking about her, and she sort of got us all together and brought Mr. Landis in, so we're happy to have it. Next, coming up, is a new member of the troupe, Courtney Cottrell. Thank you very much. Oh wait, and one thing, feel free to get up and go to the bar. We made a little alleyway for you, and stuff's out of the way. So this is sort of like our living room, Or go to the bathroom or something.
He didn't say that during his show.
I kind of wait.
Kids are screaming and the TV's going. I feel like my head's exploding. It seems to get worse with every passing day. Mama told me that it would get better. When the kids went to school, it just got worse. Think I'm gonna run away today. Pass the pipe, pass the pipe, pass the bag, pass the bag. I'm running away from the world today. Pass the pipe, pass the pipe, pass the bag, pass the bag. It's gonna be a marshmallow day. That sounds great. I've been thinking that life is too crazy without having my friends coming over in the afternoon just to hang around for a while. We just sit there in the kitchen and telling jokes and getting high, and telling jokes and getting high and getting high. Let the kids play by themselves for a while. We just smile and pass the pipe, pass the pipe, pass the bag, pass the bag. Run away from the world today. Pass the pipe, pass the pipe, pass the bag, pass the bag. It's gonna be a marshmallow day. Now, for those of you who'd like to know what a marshmallow day is, well, let's say one day you've had a really bad time at work, and you just can't wait to get out of there. You go off to this restaurant that advertises your lunch within 10 minutes or you don't have to pay. So you sit there, you order your lunch, and you have a drink. And 10 minutes goes by and no lunch. You don't need this. You have another drink. Another 10 minutes, no lunch. You have another drink. Still no lunch. Finally, you've been there for a half hour, you order one more drink, and you're in one of those grumbly, mumbly moods. So, finally, you look at your watch, you've been there for 45 damn minutes, and you still haven't had a thing to eat except for the pretzels and the popcorn at the bar, and it's time to go back to work. Ah, shit. And you take one step, and you realize that you're not going anywhere. So, meanwhile, you got a boss back at work, and you got to clear it. You just can't not come back to work. So, well, maybe you can. Anyway, so you call the boss up on the phone. The conversation sounds like this. Oh, boss. Listen, boss, something terrible happened to the wristband. My stomach is killing me. Oh man, I feel like I'm gonna get so sick. I'm in, oh God, I feel like I'm gonna get really, listen, I'll call, bye. And that's all. I mean, what's your boss gonna say? I mean, obviously you weren't in full possession of your faculties, and I'm sure he understood, or she understood just fine. So you sit there, finally get something to eat, and about an hour later, thinking, wait a minute, I don't have to go back to work. And you make one more phone call. I think you should call your mother and have her pick up the kids from school and keep them overnight. 'Cause I'm coming home from work real early. We'll just hang out in the bedroom. We'll have the house to ourselves, just sitting up there getting high. Take our clothes off and be kids again. We'll pass the pipe, pass the pipe, pass the bag, pass the bag. I'm running away from the world today. Pass the pipe, pass the pipe, pass the bag, pass the bag. It's gonna be a marshmallow day today. Pass the pipe, pass the pipe, pass the bag, pass the bag. We're gone away from the... Go ahead, you do this too. Pass the pipe, pass the pipe, pass the... Everybody, come on. Everybody hit the table. Come on, everybody do it. Come on. Pass the pipe, pass the pipe, pass the bag. Let's go. Pass the bag. I'm running away. A little louder, come on. Today. Pass the pipe, pass the pipe, pass the bag, pass the bag. It's gonna be a marshmallow day today. Pass the pipe. It's gonna be a marshmallow day. Thank you very much. I have a friend who I used to be in a band with, and his biggest aspiration in life was that he was going to have a #1 hit single. I mean, that was what he was living for. His biggest fantasy, biggest daydream would be that he would be on the beach of Jamaica or someplace really nice and warm like that, and he would be hearing, you know, the local hotel band playing his song. You know, as he looked in the magazine, you know, Billboard, where they have listed the top 100 songs of the week, and there, with a bullet next to his song, a bullet is a little red mark they put, it means that the sales rate is accelerating at an incredibly wonderful pace, which means that it's going to be a smash. You know, when your song, for example, Michael Jackson's Thriller album came onto the charts with a bullet, which means that you can know this thing's going. You know, Stevie Wonder's last album hit, you know, was, let's see, not Stevie Wonder's, Bruce Springsteen's 5-album set came onto the charts at #1 with a bullet. Sold 2 million sets in 2 days. That's phenomenal. Okay, this is this man's dream. As he once said, I'll know that I'm a success in life when I can walk into some local bar and hear some local band playing one of my songs badly. Okay. So here he is on the beaches of Jamaica, and just thinking about it. #1 this week, our record's #1 this week. I do believe we've hit the peak. Our record's #1 this week. #1 this week, our record's #1 this week. I do believe we've hit the peak. Our record's #1 this week. Now I wrote the music and I wrote the words to the song the record executive has never heard. And he makes the money to spend on his wife. And me, I'm on the road for the rest of my life. Number one this week. Our record's number one this week. I do believe we've hit the peak. Our record's number one this week. Everybody, I sing with the band. Oh, I play with the band. Oh, I think with the band. Oh, I even sleep with the band. Oh, someday if I can, I'm gonna be leaving this fucking band. But right now, our record's number one all over the land. Yucca, ducka, yucca. Number one this week. Our record's number one this week. I do believe we've hit the peak. Our record's number one this week. Number one this week. Number one this week. With a bullet. Now, one thing that people wonder about, perhaps, and, let me see if you've ever wondered about this. Have you ever wondered about this? Say yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Doesn't matter. Musicians work real hard for a while, like in their early 20s, late teens. You know, they work with bands and they practice 3-5 days a week, and they go out and they work jobs that pay very little money, sometimes no money. They lose money just trying to make it. And finally, there comes a point in a man's life or a woman's life who is a musician, a full-time musician, where they say, I can't do this anymore. I can't be a full-time musician anymore. What am I going to do next? Especially when they get to be around 30 years old, they got 2 kids, you know, and a mortgage payment to keep up. So now a lot of guys have become computer programmers. Seems to be, I'm serious. Seems to be that musicians make great computer programmers because, I don't know what, but it's the truth. It's the truth. Okay? And some guys work construction, and some guys work whatever kind of day job. Some guys sell insurance. But there's some musicians who, no matter what, want to keep on playing music full time. So they have a couple of choices. They can either get into top 40s bands, okay, which is kind of fun because you're still playing around young people, you know, and you can still go out and get high in the parking lot, and you know, or else you could go into the lounges in Atlantic City, right, or you could do bar mitzvahs and weddings. Now, I was 19 years old, and I had been in rock and roll bands, and I got a call from this guy one day. He said, look, you don't know me, and I don't know you, but I got your number from this fella that I don't know who knows you, and he says you can play guitar and sing lead in a rock and roll band. I said, yeah, I can. He says, well, I got a band that I'm doing a bar mitzvah Saturday night. You open Saturday night? And I was open. My rock group had just dissolved about a month before, 2 months before. So I said, fine. I said, how much does the job pay? He says, $30. Now, this is a long time ago. Remember that at that time, my band was making 20 or 25. So this was an upgrade. So I walked into this gig. The band is drums. The drummer at that time, I was 19 years old, okay, and this was like in the middle of the 60s. The band was saxophone, doubling on clarinet and flute, trombone, trumpet, accordion, upright bass with no amplifier, and a drummer who hadn't learned a new song since 1948. And meanwhile, you know, this was at the time when Hendrix was popular, Cream was popular, this is you know, and they come, they say, well, just play some, whatever the kids want, you play. I said, well, do you know any of these songs? I said, well, you know, the kids come up and say, you know any Clapton? And I said, do you know any Clapton? He says, who's Clapton? Okay, you know, but somehow or other I make it through the night, and everybody loves me, and the guy starts giving me more and more work. And I was in college then, and I needed the money. So I took the jobs. And all of a sudden I find I'm going out to Long Island to gigs, I'm working in Manhattan, I'm working all over the place. I'm making incredible money. I'm putting myself through school. At the age of 20, I'm making a phenomenal salary on weekends, doing bar mitzvahs. Which brings me to the next song. It's called Bar Mitzvah. It's also called Making It Rich. It's also called I Hope I Pick Up a Gig for Saturday. And it's also called Take the Money and Run.
There you go.
Okay. If I were famous, my friends would say it won't last. Learn how to make money fast. I'm making good bread playing bar mitzvahs. Now every weekend I put on my tuxedo and grin and think about the rub that I got myself in playing bar mitzvahs. I'd be in heaven if I were playing rhythm and blues, but my honey needs shoes. The money's too good to lose. Please don't think that I dislike the Jews. It's just I feel so abused whenever I do a bar mitzvah. And this is what it sounds like when you're in the band. Leader says, "All right, everybody, it's time for the hokey pokey." So yeah. And now it's time for the alley cat. Sing. And then the 13-year-old kids come up and they're always a delight. They say, "Oh, mister, come on, mister, I play the guitar real good. My friend plays the drums real good, mister. Oh, come on, mister. And my friend sings real good. Oh, come on. Don't you guys know anything good? Oh, come on, man. Don't you? Oh, come on, mister. Oh, you gotta let us play. Oh, come on, mister." And then there's this unwritten law that you had to put all the old people right in front of the amplifiers. And that's right. And they all come up to you and they say, "Mister, the speakers, stop the speakers, close there." Or the ones that show how hip they are, they go like, "Do you think you could tone it up a little?" Well, I got fingers that forgot how to play rock and roll. See, I've lost all my soul. The only thing that I know is bar mitzvahs. And I've learned to play all of my songs with no taste. My talents go into waste, but I'm making it rich playing bar mitzvahs. I have my future in the palm of my hand. Have my own rock and roll band with glitter on my pants until the phone rang one day and said, "Darling, this your big chance." So Howie, where's the job? It's right by your house. Howie, where's the job? Look, we got Howie Shalot playing the piano, we got Vinny Vitale playing the saxophone, we got your friend Eddie Cox playing the drums, and he said he'd pick you up and take you to the gig. Wait, Howie, where's the job? Baltimore. Howie, that's 155 miles from here. How much does this job pay? Look, don't worry, we're gonna get a nice dinner before we get to bike. Howie, how much does the job pay? Don't worry, you'll love it. And each time I say, I'll do no more of these things, my telephone rings, and I take the job anyway. So what if playing bar mitzvahs ain't fun? I know how to take the money and run away. Until my next job the very next day. And you know what I'm gonna play, everybody? Bar mitzvah. Cash, cash, cash. Thank you very much. But really, I don't like, it's not that I don't like Jewish people. I really do like Jewish people. In fact, I went to a psychic and asked him whether I was Jewish in my last lifetime, and she said yes. I'm serious, that's the truth. I found out that my last lifetime, I was Jewish. I'm serious about that. That's not, it's not a lie. And which, you know, and I'm born half Italian and half Irish.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice to see a woman who knows something good when she sees it. Okay. Shavajka don't get the show. It's like, so friends of mine and I used to do a version of Wild Thing. You know, remember that song? I like. Wild Thing. Well, you know that when the verses come up like. One guy had a great time, like, Wild Thing, I think I love you. And then another one did Nixon. It was very great. So, and then, you know, we were going around from one guy in the band to the other, so it came out to be my turn. So I'm like, I think you're a very nice girl. I want to be perfectly sure. Say, come on over to the house, we'll have a little flanky with horseradish, glass of nice tea. Little stopping around, ay, what a woman. And when that happened, I realized there was a possibility of breaking into something that I never realized I could do before. Now, how many of you know about Hasidic Jews? Okay. Now, you ever see Fiddler on the Roof? Okay. Fiddler on the Roof is, you know, those people are like Hasidic Jews. They're very orthodox, old, you know, they keep, and they, you know, they dress a certain way even today. And there's a whole bunch of them in Williamsburg, which is a part of Brooklyn. Now, you may say, well, so what? You know, but for musicians who work full-time as musicians, they are gold mines. Because they do, you see, the busiest night of the week for entertainment is Saturday, right? But they don't have parties on Saturday, they don't have parties on Friday, because Friday to Saturday sundown is their Sabbath. So they have parties on Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. These are not small parties. These are like 350 people, 500 people parties, big bands like 10, 15-piece bands, thousands and thousands of dollars, all to be made like on the nights of the week when nothing else is happening. But you have to know their songs. And they don't usually have rock and rollers. And I said, wait a minute, this is a chance for me to exploit something special. All I have to do is take popular rock and roll songs and change them around a little bit, and they'll dig them. So, remember when Saturday Night Fever was popular? You know, like, remember that song? Staying Alive? Right. Okay, so right, that's it. So I changed it around. It was like, whether you're below or whether you're staying alive, city, Buckingham, everybody's walking, staying alive, oi, staying alive, staying alive, you're the I made a bundle. You know, and I fostered a whole new set of understandings between those people and the Catholics in town. Because, you know, Brooklyn has a lot of Catholics. In fact, there was this one fellow who became very good friends with a rabbi. And he's a priest, right? And one day it was like a middle, you know, it was like, the priest came, you know, like they have confessions on Wednesday in Brooklyn. Okay, I'm serious. Wednesday afternoon, you go to certain parts of Brooklyn, Italian neighborhoods, Polish neighborhoods, you can go to confession. So this rabbi goes to see the priest, and you know, and they opens a door, and they hadn't seen each other in 6 months, and the priest says, "Hey, Rabbi, it's such a nice thing that you should come all the way across town. But look, you've come at a bad time. I've got to go hear confession." She says, "Right, I know about confession." She says, "Hey, that's true. Listen, why don't you come in with me and you see what it's all about?" So they go in the confessional together, right? And they're sitting there, and there's a sound, and the father opens this screen, and there's a young woman there in her early 20s. She says, "Bless me, Father, for I have sinned." And she says, "Aye, child, and what have you done?" She says, "Oh, Father, I've committed adultery 3 times this week."
Fiora.
That's exactly what he's saying. He says, "Well, are you sorry for your sins, lass?" She says, "Oh, yes, I am." He says, "I'd send, say, 10 Our Fathers, 10 Hail Marys, and put $5 in the collection box." So, this opens the other screen, there's a young man there. He says, "Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. And what have you done, me boy?" He says, "Father, I've committed adultery 3 times this week." It's quite serious.
Fiora.
"Are you sorry for your sins?" He says, oh yes, I am, Father. He says, I can say 10 Our Fathers, 10 Hail Marys, and put $5 in the collection box. And well, just then there's a knock at the confessional door, and the altar boy says, Father, that man from the oil company is here about the oil burning, and he's got to see you right now. He said, but I've got to hear all these confessions. Rabbi, you've got to do me a favor. You've got to hear confession for me. Oh, God, I know about confessions. Don't worry about a damn thing. Look, you just ask them. They say, just tell them ask them what they've done. Ask them if they're sorry. And tell them 10 Our Fathers, 10 Hail Marys, $5 in the collection box, and that's it. Don't worry. I'll take care of everything. Take your time, do the job right, don't let them cheat you out of nothing, get out of here. Take care. All right. So a few minutes later, there's a sound, and he opens the screen, and the young man there, and he says, bless me, Father, for I have sinned. Shabbat Elsie's news. Says, Shabbat you been up to Bobble. Says, Father, I've committed adultery twice this week. You've committed adultery twice this week? That's very serious. Yes, it is. Says, are you sorry? Yes, I am. Wait a minute, just a minute. I tell you what you do. You go out, you do it one more time and come back. Because this week we're running a 3 for 5 sale. I mean, it's nice. I mean, like, I went on a plane one time to take a, when Paul Farmer was up here talking about planes, I was reminded of this. One of these little fellas about this big, an old fella, had to go to the Holy Lands. But it was about 20 years ago. It was right after the 6-Day War, and the only airline flying anywhere near that region was Air Egypt nonstop to Cairo, because El Al was on strike. Now, back then, they hadn't made peace yet between the two countries. So this was but he had to go, and there was no other choice. I mean, and he was nervous enough as it was, because the first time he had flown on an airplane, he had gone like from New York to L.A., and he sat next to this big Texan guy, who flies one of these biggest businessmen, and he'd gotten sick on the plane, he'd thrown up all over this poor man's clothes, and he didn't know what to do about it because, and when the poor man woke up and he saw all the stuff all over him, and the little guy says, feeling better? So he was nervous enough as it was, just going in the plane. He said, oh, well, maybe there's not going to be many people on the flight. And he goes in, the flight's totally booked. There's not one empty seat. Everybody's 6'8", 4 foot wide shoulders, burnooses, scimitars, beards, and he's got his seat is between these two huge Arabs, and he sits down. And he says to himself, well, look, I'm not going to talk to nobody on this flight. I'm going to put my tie up there, my jacket up there. I'm going to take off my shoes. I'm going to sit down. It's a long flight. It's 9 hours flight. I'm just going to sit down here. I'm going to have a nice nap. I'm going to go to sleep in bed. And he's just about to fall asleep, and the guy on the left goes, boom! Says, Joe, get me coffee. 172 of them, one of me. I'll get him the coffee. So he goes, gets him the coffee, he gives it to the Arab, and he sits down, and he notices that his left shoe is full of shit. He's just about to fall asleep again. Boom! The guy on the right. Joe, get me coffee. So he goes up, gets the coffee, gives it to the Arab, sits down, and now his right shoe and his left shoe are both full of shit. The Arabs drink their coffee, he's just about to fall asleep, and boom! The guy on the left. Now he wants to have a conversation. This could be a long flight. And he says, Joe, do you think there'll ever be peace between your people and my people? She said, I don't think so. Not as long as you keep shitting in my shoes. And I keep pissing in your coffee. I'll tell you, this friend of mine is a musician. Musicians are very interesting people. We have our own set of jokes. So I'll give you an example of a musician's joke, typical musician's joke. How do you spell an augmented screw chord? F-U-C#K. Okay. Now, all right, but now here's a musician's joke that you might be able to get. These two old fellows are in a nursing home, and they're both old jazz players, and they're both about to die, and they know it. They're getting very old, and one is very fearful of dying, and he turns to his friend and he says, "Listen, I don't know what's gonna happen." He says, "Look, don't worry about nothing. I'm gonna die first. I'll come back and tell you what's happening, so you don't gotta worry about nothing." He says, "You do that for me, Ralphie? Look, we've been buddies since the days of Benny Goodman, you know, and Cab Calloway when it was happening. You and I have been together 56 years in the same band. I ain't gonna desert you now, and you should know better." All right. And that man does die first. And he comes back and he appears to his friend in a dream about a week after his death. It's like, "Ralphie, you came back. You promised. You again." He says, "Hey, man, I told you I'd come back. So what's happening up there?" He says, "Man, it's cool up there. It's swinging. We got record dates. We got transcriptions. We got shows. We got road gigs. We got everything happening up there. We got TV work. We got radio work happening. In fact, I'm in the hottest road band up in heaven, man. We got Coltrane playing lead tenor. We got the Count on the keys. I mean, we got the hottest band of all of heaven. We is swinging." He says, "Man, it sounds perfect." He said, "Well, it's almost perfect." "What do you mean?" He said, "God's got this girlfriend who sings." So this friend of mine who's in a very famous band has a problem with flatulence. I mean, if you ever see this band on TV or if you ever see them live, you'll always know who it is because there's this brown cloud that hangs over the saxophone section. And he was talking. Good night, guys.
Good night.
So one time, this fellow is like holding in this great deal of gas for a half hour. And finally he gets a 5-minute break, and he goes into, he runs into the bathroom, and he's just about to relieve himself when in walks one of the guests at this extremely posh party that he's playing for. And he's a little old Jewish fellow, and he's just like, obviously he can't, they can't do anything like that in front of one of the guests. He says, how the hell am I going to do this? So he figures, aha, I'll cover it up with a sneeze. So he's standing there at the urinal, and he does one of these. It sounds like this. Achoo! And a little old Jewish man walks up to me and he says, "That's some cold." So, musicians are really nuts. We are. And to show you how nuts I am, Laurie asked me to do a song that a friend of mine wrote. And it's about the eternal triangle, which looks like this big cough drop in the sky. It's man, woman, and dog. Like man loves woman, woman loves man, man loves dog, like that. And it's called Canis Arfus Muchus Dedis Erectus Mochus. And when I'm playing with a band, I have a band, by the way, that does tunes that I write. And you're all welcome to come and see me sometime. In fact, the next time I'll be playing with the band is February 22nd at Havana in New Hope. So it starts from 8 to 12. Moving on up. Okay. Well, up to the east side of the street, Main Street. Anyway, so this is a big introduction. You can imagine the band blowing its brains out. Here you go. This is a very sad song. Very sad song. Have you ever been so very lonesome that you don't know what to do? My friend, you'd be lonesome if you'd lost someone so close to you. My dog, he's got a hole in him. bark much anymore. He made too much noise when he barked. That's what my baby said. So she took a big 44 and she blew off his tiny little head. And my doggy's got a hole in him, and he don't bark much anymore. Very sad. Now here's the big middle part, the instrumental part. So sad.
Control, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks, Lori. Yeah. How'd you know about the sex change? But hey, we're rolling right along here. We're gonna got more minutes, couple more people coming up. Next coming up, Scott Beauregard's gonna come up for a couple more minutes. We'll talk to you a couple things. And so Scott Beauregard, ladies and gentlemen, Scott Beauregard.
I'm using cue cards, and it's just because I'm doing it. This one's yours. Everybody here is kind of boozed up by now. I just want to remind you when you drive home that the areas around here do have DWI checks. Anybody ever get stopped at a DWI check? Where they make you recite the alphabet? Who here recites the alphabet? I sing the alphabet. Piss the cop off, you know? Can you recite the alphabet? Yeah, I can, officer. Do it for me. Oh, now? Oh, okay. Get out there. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. And the cop's like, what the fuck is wrong with this? And you know what? They always try to catch you at Z. You know, in kindergarten they teach you W, X, Y, and Z. And the cop goes, what was that? N? Does N follow Z? So you come back and I'm like, hot, cold, wet, too. He remembers me now. But on the way over here, I did stop at McDonald's and I went through the drive-thru. And one of the things that really gets me about the drive-thru at McDonald's is you can't understand shit. I mean, you pull up, you're hungry, you don't want to hassle people. Welcome to McDonald's. I like a Big Mac, large fries, and a Coke. Excuse me. You said large fries and a Coke. Close enough. Would you like apple pie with that? No, thank you. But what's even worse than that is when you go through a drive-thru and they have someone like an Indian guy working there. And even though you can't understand shit other people say, Indian people seem to come through clear. Welcome to McDonald's, may I take your order? What's the special today? Got any dead cats in there? You know, I watch TV a lot. That's because I don't do anything else. And what really gets me is, you all notice these Ken's the Best? It's one of my friends. Every state has its own TV channels, like New York, WPIX. They have Channel 5, a bunch of other channels. New Jersey has 9. And it's not a very popular channel, so they put retarded people in the news broadcast like Lloyd Lindsay Young. Wouldn't you like to shoot Lloyd Lindsay Young? I don't understand him at all, you know. But I was playing golf the other day with Ward, and it was kind of strange, you know, because me, Ward, and his friend were up there, and we're all like, I looked at Ward and I said, hey Ward, that's his name. I said, hey Ward, how did you get your girlfriend to let you come play golf today? He said, well, I went out last night and I bought a diamond ring. Ward's like that. He does things. And she said, oh, fine, you can go golfing tomorrow. Then I went with Ken, who's in the back. He broke his neck playing golf. You're supposed to turn with it, you know. Ken has this thing with doing a complete turnaround and keeping his eye on the ball. And I said, hey Ken, because that's his name. I said, Ken, how did you get your girlfriend to let you come play golf tonight? He said, well, I went out last night and I bought her a nice fur coat. She said I could go play golf. So we started to play golf, and guys got talking, and he came in and said, hey Scott, how did you let your girlfriend let you come play golf today? And I said, well, it was simple. This morning I asked her, I said, well, what's it going to be, golf course or intercourse? She said, take a warm sweater. But me and my girlfriend go shopping a lot, and we go into Sears. And you go into Sears is where America shops. You go into Sears, you want to buy something, there's always an employee there who works on commission because that's all they get. You want to buy a particular item, it's like a color TV. How much is this color TV? $300. Sounds good. You pull out the credit card. Oh, but this TV over here is better. You know, they're working on commission like, this one comes with everything. It has remote. It has cable, ready. It's got everything, built-in VCR. And these guys don't know shit. They're out there making a buck any way they can. They'll sell you shit they don't even need anymore. They just clear it off the shelf. But it's very funny. Worse than McDonald's drive-thrus are the speakers in stores, especially when you're being paged. Like, your wife's home giving birth to your child, and they're trying to page you. Hey, that sounded like me. We're on the currency desk. Excuse me, did they just page me? I don't know, what's your name? John. No, they didn't page you. So you gotta fake them. You go, oh, my name's John. Yeah, that was you. Your wife's having a baby. All right, and then when you you were easy in the first half. Eh? When you finally do figure out what you want in Sears, you go up to the counter. You fill out your counter, and girls, it's weird. You can buy shit in Krauser's like for 49 cents, and there's always some code on it that's like 1,200 numbers long. And the girls are like, so you say, oh, fuck you. Pull out the old checkbook. Pay with a check. You're standing there. Everyone's looking at hey, this kid's got a checkbook. He can't be more than 18 years old. They have to approve it. My checks never go through. That's because I have no money in my account. But one thing is really strange, credit cards. I mean, people with credit cards, they go all kinds of crazy. They go out, they buy shit they don't even know. You know, oh, wow, we need that so bad. We'll put it on the credit card. And they get up to the thing. The lady pays for it. She has to do a credit card check. There's a line about 40 people behind you. Girl comes up, and she doesn't say it softly. She goes, I ran your credit card through the computer. It's not worth diddly. That pisses me off. But I moved to South Brunswick about 4 years ago from North Brunswick. You know, we needed a change of scenery. So they enrolled me in a new school. And this school's a little different than my other school because in North Brunswick, in order to walk down the hallway, you need a pass. And if you don't have a pass, the hall guard stops you and sends you back to class. In South Brunswick, you're walking down the hallway. If you don't have a pass, then one of the shotgun hall monitors is going to come around the corner and go, "Do you have a pass?" No. I lost 3 kids yesterday, 2 of which were my best friends. Kenny and Wade. A lot of snow lately. I talked about that in the beginning, but I'm going to talk about it again because I love snow. I remember how I used to wake up when I was a little kid, look out the window and see snow and say, no school. Nowadays, you wake up, there's like 12 feet of snow on the ground. Dad comes in and says, get up. Bought you a snow shovel last night. We have a driveway that's 1/4 mile long, about 40 feet wide. And my dad just doesn't want you to shovel the driveway. He likes about 3 inches into the grass, so that when the snow melts, it doesn't drip back on the driveway and freeze. He's sort of a perfectionist, you know? So to get in shape for that, I figured I'd join Jack LaLanne. And you don't join Jack LaLanne. Jack LaLanne joins you. I couldn't pay my first 4 payments, so Jack LaLanne called me up personally. He said, if you don't get your payments in, your ass is going to court, your ass is going to jail, and the jail we're sending to you is filled with guys that will like your ass. So I'm going to jail now, you know. Hope everything works out. One thing I did want to talk about, though, tonight is Indians. I'm changing subjects because you people are dry. Indian women. Does anybody in here know what the dot on the head is for? Can anybody tell me that? I kind of figured it was a target, you know, because that does kind of remind me of a bullseye, you know, and I won the court case, you know, I didn't have to go to jail or anything, but they said just don't shoot anymore, you know. It's kind of weird. Well, I'm going to let you go now because you guys are stuffed, you know, I'm wasted. All right, I'm going to let Wade come back up here and take me out of my misery. Pop over, God, all right.
Team player, like that good man. I didn't want to be a celebrity, you know. I didn't want to be a celebrity. Okay, I'm gonna that's like physics major. That's quick. Good thing he wasn't Greek. He went right behind me. Okay, I'm okay. I'm okay. You're okay. Okay. But I didn't want to be a celebrity. You know, I never want to be a celebrity. I said, you know, I couldn't handle that. Because one time I'm at a bar, I'm hanging out, I'm bartending, and John Wayne comes in. He's like, bartender, excuse me. John Wayne, oh, John Wayne, how you doing, John Wayne? Your biggest fans, you know, Green Beret, yeah, John Wayne. And he's like, well, yeah, you got a private men's room in here? Oh, Mr. Wayne, I'm sorry, we just got the public men's room back there. All right, well, give me a beer. All right, Mr. Wayne. A couple minutes later, he asked me, you got a private men's room in here? And I'm like, oh, Mr. Wayne, I'm one of your biggest fans. If we had one, I'd let you use it, but we just got the public one back there, you know? So, he says, well, I guess that'll have to do. A couple minutes, somebody comes back, he's sopping wet. I'm like, Mr. Wayne, what happened to you? You're sopping wet. What happened? He's like, it happens all the time. I walk into the private men's room, everybody spins around and says, hey, you're John Wayne! I couldn't be a celebrity. But next week, coming up, we got Marlene DeViva, okay? She's beautiful and buxom. Hey, Marlene DeViva. Hey, come in.
Thank you, Wade. Mispronounced my name. They misspelled it in the Trentonian yesterday. Mispronounced my name. They misspelled it in the Trentonian yesterday. Okay, hello, folks. How is everybody tonight?
Great.
Good-looking crowd? No, I'm just kidding. I tried to look real good for you tonight. I even wore my lead press-on nails. The lead press-on hair. This is the active length. But I just want to explain something. I'm only working as a comedian until I can break into the restaurant business. My real goal, of course, is to be a waitress. And I found out it's a lot tougher than I thought it would be. I mean, you got to study hard. You got to have the right connections. I mean, I know somebody who has a friend who knows a busboy, so I'm hoping, you know, to get that shot. But wish me luck. I just wish he'd return my phone calls. But this is a nice restaurant. Anybody have dinner upstairs before they came down? Nice French restaurant, huh? Gotta try it sometime. You know it's a good restaurant because you open the menus and there are no pictures of the food. So I figured out it's a really good place to eat. But anybody in therapy? Nobody will admit to that. I've got a few giggles over here. Anybody a therapist? Do we have any therapists here? No? Well, I'm in therapy, okay? And it's actually a sad story. I was traumatized and became very depressed when I found out that a 19-inch Admiral was actually a color TV set. But no, really, but through therapy I have discovered that I have a deep, abiding need for applause and affection from total strangers. So, good, I didn't want to have to hurt anybody tonight. I'm glad you obliged. Anyway, a couple of things in the news I thought I'd cover. Last week, did you read that really, really tragic story about the state treasurer in Pennsylvania, Bud Dwyer? Ooh, these Republicans are serious. This guy calls, in case you didn't hear, this guy calls a press conference and blows his brains out right in front of the cameras. And in the way I figure it, he's probably just ruined his chances for a suspended sentence. But probation's out of the question. I understand that right before he pulled the trigger, he looked up to God and said, it's a low ceiling, looked up to God and said, this bud's for you. But, thank you very much. I take groans as well as applause. Politics, okay, we've got the 1988 elections, presidential elections, coming up very soon. It's 87 already. And I'm glad there's at least 4 years between these presidential elections because it takes me about that long to, you know, get a straight face. And, you know, just to review the list of possible candidates for the election next year, well right off the bat, Ted Kennedy's out. gee, I wonder if there's anything in his past that might have influenced that decision. You know? Mr. Kennedy, where did you park the car? I parked the car in the river. Mr. Kennedy, what is that woman doing in the back seat? I believe it's the backstroke. But they serve a drink here. Don't you have a drink here called the Kennedy, Lori?
Yeah.
Yeah. So one shot goes straight to your head?
Yeah.
Oh. Oh. See, I'm Irish, Catholic, and Democrat, so I can tell those jokes. Let's see. We got that evangelist, Pat Robertson from the 700 Club. This yo-yo's gonna run. He says he's doing it because God told him to. All right, Pat, when God tells me to vote for you, I will. Evangelist, well, they're a strange crew, aren't they? Who's the other guy? Oral Roberts? Ooh, this yin-yang needs what, $4.5 million by March, or he's going straight to heaven? He's going, him and Bud Dwyer, what, the same press agent? A little flair there. Stephen King, I don't know. Let's see, Gary Hart, evangelist. One thing I've noticed about evangelists, okay, couple of things. First of all, they all seem to have lots and lots of hair on their heads. You notice that? Somebody else's, but a whole bunch of it. And they all talk like this. Like they have to overpronounce every word they say for impact. You know, I envision some strict English teacher behind them with a whip, you know? I don't know, but, you know, and then I don't know, the thing about Jesus is kind of strange. I mean, these people go around and, you know, it's all because of Jesus. And I thought about it for a minute, and I'm Catholic, and I'm very religious. But when you think about who Jesus was, it's kind of, you really gotta stop for a moment. Because here's a guy, okay, his mother was a virgin. Yeah, Joseph bought this one, can you believe it? His father was God. His girlfriend's a hooker. He lives, eats, and sleeps with 12 guys. And he lived at home till what, he was 30? Yeah, and then he goes out and gets a job as a magician. I don't know what it was he did. Get a real job. But this is who they pattern their lives after. So anyway, okay, back to the politicians. After, Gary Hart. I think Gary Hart's going to run again. And I don't have too much to say about Gary Hart, except he's got great hair. So if he doesn't make it as president, I'm sure he's got a great career as an evangelist. Let's see, George Bush. George Bush, a lot of impact this man has, huh? The personality of lint. But, oh God, he'll never have the pizzazz his boss has. Nothing like Ronald Reagan. I mean, all right, a round of applause for 6.5 years of great comedy. I mean, come on, Ronald Reagan's given us that much. All right? And I don't think he's leaving. This guy is not going anywhere. He wants to be president for life. And he even did try to get a bill passed through Congress so that he could run for a third term. And, you know, how are they going to get him out of the White House when the new president's about to move in? You know, I can see it now. Mr. President, wake up. Taxi's here. Got to move him out. But, let's see. Now, Ronnie's a great guy. He's very, very astute. He says things like, where would our country be without this great land of ours? So, now all those operations and drugs, no effect, I'm sure. And he's a very deep man, evidenced, of course, by the fact that he says, well, a lot. And, you know, but he is very sensitive about his age. I mean, after all, he is the oldest president that we have ever had. And I understand that someone asked him about his age, or when his birthday was, and he replied, February 6th. And they said, what year? And he said, well, every year. And, but I guess there's something to be said for being that old. I imagine there's not much peer pressure, you know. Let's see, other members of his family, pretty interesting. Nancy Reagan, anybody here ever see her in public?
Yeah.
Did you really? Who said that?
She's always with them.
And she's almost lifelike, do you notice that? But, the real good one is their son, Ronnie Jr.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a Burger King missing a night manager somewhere? Sort of get that impression, Mr. Potato Head. Okay, what else is in the news? Liberace. Okay, now, before you groan, okay, I just want to preface it by saying I have a great deal of respect and admiration for the man's talent. But pernicious anemia? No, I don't think I'm buying this one, all right? I mean, you all know he's gravely ill, and they've announced that he has pernicious anemia. Let's face it, the man shops at Boys R Us, okay? I'm guessing it's AIDS. And, you know, AIDS, I know it's not a very fun subject to discuss, but do you think it's possibly God's way of telling homosexuals, look, fellas, this is not the combination I had in mind, but Liberace with AIDS, an incurable romantic, that Liberace. Let's see. Boy George, here's another one who was in the news recently, and he'd had a few problems. I wonder what it's like to be the opposite sex of everybody. Now, I think his parents might have honeymooned at Chernobyl. I'm not real sure. But then you find out that this guy all along has been a heroin addict. Color me surprised. The man's on drugs. Register shock. I would have loved to have been there at the drug rehab center when he woke up from that heroin fog. I can imagine his first words were probably something like, I wore what? I did what to my hair? But families, I'll talk about them for a minute. I know the other gentleman out here earlier, Courtney, mentioned that he was Irish and Italian. I have the same background. My father is Sicilian. He is a contractor, and he lives here in New Jersey. But all my life I've had to convince people that he's not in the mafia, and that's the truth, he's not. We have other relatives that are in the mafia. As a matter of fact, we have, my uncle. He walks with a limp in his wrist. Sort of the pink sheep of the family, okay, my Uncle Vito. But being in the mafia, when this guy gives you the kiss of death, you also get dinner and dancing, so it's not too bad of you. But the funny thing about my father's side of the family, the Sicilians, is that the family functions are all the same. I mean, you've got a wedding or wake, and it's always the procession of fat ants. It's happening already. But you know, no matter what the affair, I mean, they're always emotional, and they're always out of control, and it just drives me crazy. But you know, it's like at a funeral, you've got ants doing backflips into the grave. I mean, they're just out of control. It's a lovely 9.2 for Aunt Rosie. Anyway, but the one thing that they do that drives me crazier than anything else is they always give me aggravation about being single. And it's always like, how come you're so alone? How come you're not married? You're so pretty. And, you know, it's just making me insane. But this stuff never happens on my mother's side of the family, because these are the Irish, and these people know how to party. They know how to drink. And my mother's pretty neat, too. She's going through that change of life deal, you know? Like last week she was mom, this week, what, a Viking? I don't know. And she says the weirdest things, you know, it's like my brothers drink a lot of milk, and she's sick of running to the store and buying gallons of milk every day, so she, you know, always says things like, well, you know, I'm going to buy a cow, and I'm just going to leave it in the backyard, and then you can help yourselves. So Mom, why don't you buy a Girl Scout, and then we'll have a plentiful supply of cookies, too. Or in the backyard. But anyway, my mother's side of the family are pretty neat. It's like I show up at any of these functions, and they don't give me any aggravation about being single. And I finally figured out why that is. It's because when I show up, they've been drinking for so long that they're seeing double. They think I'm with somebody. Yeah. But I guess everybody has, you know, the little stories to tell about their own families. And, well, I'm having problems right now with my boyfriend's family, too. His mother hates my guts. Do you girls experience the same thing? You have problems with your boyfriend's mothers? And not even mothers-in-law yet. Oh. Well, I have to give her credit there. She did try to get along with me. We went to dinner last week. And she even tried to compliment me. But it didn't come out right. I mean, she looked across the table and she said, you know, it's really pretty eyeshadow, if you're a whore. But she did try. But then I found out that behind my back, she called me a stupid tramp. Of course, he stuck up for me. He told her I wasn't stupid. But he's no prize either. I mean, I thought he was Mr. Right. Turns out he's not even anatomically correct. But he's got money. He's got something going for him. He's got lots of money. Actually, he was afraid that I was only dating him for his money, and he did. He asked me if I would still love him if he lost all his money. And I said, of course I'd love you. I miss you, too. But well, actually, my philosophy is I don't care if a man fits the bill, as long as he foots it. You know? Oh, I need a cocktail break. A Lori laugh. It's not water. Actually, no, it's, you can have a taste. It's vodka. But don't worry, I'm not becoming an alcoholic. As a matter of fact, my policy is that I don't drink alone. And so I got a cat. The black cat. This is the truth, I swear to God. The black cat, and I call him Kunta Kitty. Gospel truth. But, oh, I love him. He's great. He's great. Cats have, God, what an attitude cats have, you know? It's like the other day, I live in an apartment and I have a sliding glass door, and I had just Windexed it, and it was crystal clear. He thought the door was open. He never gets an opportunity to go outside, because I don't want him bringing in God knows what. And he thought the door was open, and this is a big chance, you know, he's going to go flying outside. So he, at full speed, he goes running, boom, smack into the door. And he turns around, and he looked at me as if to say, I meant to do that. Then he walks into the bedroom, and under the bed I hear him going, meow, meow, meow. Got stopped for drunk driving the other day. Okay, it's not a fun thing. The thing was that I knew I had been drinking, but I was real careful. You know how you get, you know, if you've had a few, you're real careful to drive straight. So I wasn't doing any of this bobbing or weaving business. I looked in my rearview mirror. All of a sudden, it's like a disco party behind my car. And then out of the blue, the next thing I hear is, pull the car over. A disc jockey! Well, I pull over, the cop comes over to my car, and like, you know, no nonsense. All right, lady, license, registration, and Turtle Club membership card. So I hand him everything. And I couldn't figure out why he had stopped me, because I was real sure I was, you know, abiding by all the traffic laws. And next thing I know, I said, all right, lady, out of the car, take the lampshade off the head, and walk a straight line. So, but the thing about drunk driving that really gets to me is, you know, the way cars are made today, you've got automatic transmission, you've got power steering, you've got power brakes, you've got cruise control. How difficult can it be? I mean, you hang onto the steering wheel and wait for your house to pull up. But I got stopped also. Right before that, officer pulled me over because I had run a stop sign, supposedly. Of course, my defense was, I can't read and drive at the same time. But the one thing is that when a cop stops you, okay, after he's issued the ticket or given you the warning or whatever it is he decides to do with you, after you pull out, do you ever notice that the cop pulls right out behind you and stays behind you? Do you ever notice this? It happens to me every single time. He pulls out and just keeps on. It's like, get somebody else! Leave me alone already! And then you get real nervous because, oh God, the points are just building up. I don't want to have to go to traffic school again with all those Chinese people. So anyway, he's following me, and I come up to one of those intersections with the red blinking light, and I wasn't taking any chances, man. I stopped 12 times going through that intersection. I'm on a diet. I just want you to know. If you guys keep coming back, you'll see me wasting away on a vodka diet. Now, and, you know, the thing is that I don't mind dieting. It's exercise that I can't handle. My attitude is this, you know, jogging, tennis, aerobics, I don't care what you call it, it's still gym to me, all right? I don't have to go anymore, so I'm not. And I did find out there are, you know, certain things you can do when you're trying to look thinner, and I read somewhere that black makes you look thinner. So I'm dating Ray Charles now. Oh, like you guys have never had a blind date before. Oh, come on. Well, that's it, folks. I thank you very much. You've been a terrific audience. Give you a wave back.
You know, I think it's great being here. I love being in Princeton. Princeton's a fun town, you know. I love New Jersey. I love Tom Kane, you know, the governor does commercials, you know. That's a great state, you know, Governor. Marriott, want to do commercials? No way. I mean, hey, I'm going to move back. You guys sit down. Just so we don't crash.
No, that's theirs.
Is it your fake neck?
No.
Fowler.
I'm talking about complicated. You guys could make it. Make it real cozy now, okay? Alright, this is like a Volkswagen. How many people can we get in this room, you know? They're gonna fix it 2 ways. We're gonna leave it like this or take the tables out. We were trying to figure. We didn't know what we wanted to do with it. We could fix it up somewhere. But Tom Kane's great. He gets on the TV. He's over there. And he's talking about New Jersey. He's like, this is Tom Kane for New Jersey. New Jersey. Where can you go skiing on a landfill? Drive by toxic waste and oil refineries on your way to a polluted seashore. Pollution in New Jersey. Perfect together. Yeah, okay, Tom. Okay. People are going to come here for vacation, okay? Everybody makes fun of New Jersey. All right, the next man we got coming up is a professional. Worked in several clubs in... It's like somebody behind me that goes like, I don't know, I'm not even doing anything, okay, you know? It's like, so I chirp for a while. All right, we're all looking at you now. Yeah, we're not good for recruits. No, seriously, we are. At the end of the show, I'll let you know if anybody thinks that they got a knack for this. More than welcome to come over and talk to us. All right, so next man coming up, if I can find him, he's hiding somewhere, is Ken Fowler. He works in several clubs in New York. We're real glad to have him. We're glad to have him here. Let me see if I'm gonna.
Is it? All right.
There's the talking door there. It's just kind of a trick, you know. All right, Ken Fowler, ladies and gentlemen.
I ain't no softball player. One of my problems.
Yeah,
This is great. What, is
Sam
this
opened
personal?
the door tonight.
No, I did. I think
So,
so.
now, huh? How's everybody doing?
Fine.
Look at this. This is like Night of the Living Comics here in 3D. Can you follow me anywhere I go? Like over here? Can you use her for block?
He's a clean old man. He's very clean.
That's good. Oh, this is... All right, don't say anything funny. Well, fucker, we gotta wait.
That's a couple.
I'm serious. Forget it. She's missing. I don't mess with mic stands. They make me look dumber than I really am. So, what a crowd we got here tonight. Yeah, I couldn't believe that. You sound like so much more people back there. I'm a little disappointed. This is like, you know, expecting 10 inches, seeing 6. Hi, well, you guys are brave. You're like right down front for comic fodder. And you're trying to act sophisticated. Legs crossed, having the Grand Marnier, maybe?
No.
Close. B&B?
No.
Well, fuck it then. It's something nice in it. What do you do for a living?
I get a class.
You go to school? Figures. Where? Down the street, right. So we know you're not paying for your education. Unless you have a part-time job. Unless you got a part-time job supplying the entire East Coast with cocaine, there's no way you can pay for Princeton. I don't believe it. All right, what do you? This is gonna be the nicest couple here. I mean, you dressed beautifully and everything, color coordinated, the whole deal. What do you do for a living? Work with computers. Work with computers. The new slave class of the '80s. I love watching those. I like watching those commercials at home. You didn't go to Apex Tech, did you? You took the first step, right? How's it go? What do you do for a living? Or do you live off him? God, I wish I was a woman. Well, no. It's no fun not having the Hoover. But, I knew that would go over. Yes, no. This is the 80s. No one gets those sex changes anymore and advertises it. But, I'm in a lot of pain today, man. I fucked my neck up somehow. I don't know what I did. But it hurts, and I've been going to chiropractors for a while, it helps a lot more than going to doctors. I personally, when it comes to something like this, doctors suck. Because I went to a doctor once, he think this was the entire examination, pokes me in the back, says, oh, looks like you have some tension there, a little pain, huh? And I go, yeah, thank you very much, I can figure that out myself. Writes me a prescription, I'm like, I could get better drugs in Trenton. What is the point? So chiropractor's all right, but I remember the first time I ever went to one, scared the living shit out of me. Anybody here go to a chiropractor? Yeah. Whoa, how'd you like that first time we got you in that headlock? My doctor always wants to talk bills when he's got me in that headlock too. Ken, you know you're a little bit behind? I'll get right up on it, I promise. But and people were making fun of this, I'm being a baby and everything. I'm like, no. It's not that men are less. What's the word? It's not that women are tougher about pain than we are. Women just have put up with more pain, I think.
We're
Like,
tougher.
don't even start. But I know, I figure wearing things like bras all the time, that would get on my nerves. That would piss me off. High heels? Whoa, forget high heels. I think any guy would be brought to his knees after an afternoon in high heels. I could just see some guy, like a foreman on a loading dock, like, all right, guys, come on, I want this truck loaded down here by 5. My feet are killing me. And girls always get, and another great excuse for women is that monthly friend. You always get that day off from work. I'm serious. No, I've seen it all. I've been in the work world too long to hear every month, not every month, but it's always good for at least a day off a month with the old period problem. If I was a girl, hey, if I was a guy and I had periods, yeah, I would do it. I'd call up once in a while, like, yeah, no, I'm not going to be in today. No, I got it. Yeah, I'm flowing pretty heavy. Yeah. Like a stuck pig. Marge, get off my back! I'll be on the phone in a minute! I had a rough week. It's been a long week. I was very upset. I was driving a friend of mine back up to school, up in Long Island. Hit a dog on the way there. Oh. Yeah, cute little Cocker Spaniel. I hope it wasn't anybody's here. 65 miles an hour, that thing didn't even feel like a pothole. And then I realized what happened. I felt really bad because I know what it was like. Because when I was a kid, I had a dog run over a couple times. Well, he missed it. It wasn't dead, so he had to back up and do it again. But I even had to bury the damn thing. So don't even talk to me about pain with losing animals. But I still felt really bad. It's like I think all of a sudden the sky's going to open up and a big finger's going to point and say, "Ken Feller, you're going to hell." So I couldn't help but feel like I just wasted this dog's life. So it wouldn't be a total loss. I ate it. I made little doggy slippers too. I enjoyed it. Excuse me? Doggy bag. Feel free to say any incoherent shit that is the guy with the beard saying that? The guy, like, hey, you want a heckler? Fuck you, that wasn't me. But, yeah. Oh, fuck! I just broke something.
Turn it on. Turn it on.
Turn it on? Yeah. What dude's this? Whose mic is this?
Mine.
Oh, so I better be real careful with it. But, the driving with animals, though, is nothing new with me. I grew up out in the boondocks. Well, it used to be the boondocks over in Plainsboro. But, now I've driven with deer on the road and stuff. That's no problem. Never hit deer, never hit anything. Until now. I hit that dog. I was very upset. And after, I always thought I'd be coming home one night with the big buzz on, hit the deer, $2,000 worth of damage, and it's all over. Anybody here ever hit a deer while you're driving? Yeah. You know what it's like. They look cute, you think, nice, graceful looking animals, but they're made out of fucking concrete or something. They look nice. You think they're just out in the fields posing for Field and Stream and, Gun World or something until you hit one of them and it's like, because you don't hit a deer, you run aground on a deer. And if that isn't bad enough, the deer doesn't have insurance. And to add insult to injury, you got to pick the guts out of the radiator yourself. So that's why oh, come on. But, a friend of mine, a guy that I go to school with, was now visiting me from up, right around New York. I can tell this guy has had no experience driving with animals around. He thinks it's fun to run over animals, and I think it is too, don't get me wrong. I'm all for it. But, I kind of question his choice of animals to run over. He hasn't really learned yet that you don't hit skunks. And I wasn't able to warn him, and so he had a car that was smelling like horrible. But as I was saying, from Plainsboro, grew up with rednecks. Anybody grow up with rednecks?
Yeah.
I hate rednecks. Don't you? I know there's more to life than drinking Coors, listening to Leonard Skinner, and hunting. I know for a fact. That or the Grateful Dead. They're always into the Grateful Dead. I despise the Grateful Dead. I hate them. Oh, what? Jerry just came out of his coma. Diabetic coma. Yeah, that's like Liberace's pernicious anemia. Yeah, nothing I enjoy more than listening to a 20-minute solo of just excuse me, break time. It's like, yeah, Jerry's in a coma. How could they tell? They thought he was writing songs. But also, they're into hunting out there a lot too. They're into getting those deer and ducks or whatever the fuck they can shoot out there. Even if you're just like, I know guys that I went to high school with, you know, I can be talking to them somewhere, and geese will fly overhead. I'm like, oh, that's kind of nice. Pulls out his imaginary 12 gauge. Like, yeah, if I had it, I would have got him. You're right, just wait till I'm not around, all right? But they tell me to try hunting, you know, and I couldn't do it. It just doesn't seem fair, honestly. And they tell me the reason is, you know, if you don't hunt these things, they'll starve. Got to thin out the population, they're going to starve. And I had to stop for just a second and say, now, wait a minute. Is there a plane load of hunters on their way to Ethiopia right now? Makes me wonder. Either that or they'll be like taking care of a few of those extra homeless bag people on the streets, you know. What do we need shelters for? I can just see these guys, you know, bringing home trophies. Yeah, this one right here? Got him in a milk line in Zimbabwe. Chased this one 3 miles. Found him in a bread line. Scattered that line. Should have seen it. Should have seen the one that got away, though. But, out in the boondocks, nothing else to do except torture members of your family when you can't find anyone else to play with. I had a lot of fun doing that. Yeah, I had a little sister. No, I still have a little sister. It's just that she's just not the same little thing that was delivered. She's grown up a little strange, which is it's understandable because we used to have things called jolly jumpers. Remember those? Put them in a doorway. You know, a kid would have a great time. You just leave them there for a few hours, bouncing up and down. I would be expected to watch her while my mom's doing stuff around the house, and you know, I have to bring in a change of diaper or something. I was like, "Can you bring your sister in?" Okay. The other thing was, though, she wasn't always good at, like, making the exit once it came to the other end, so she'd just stay in it going... We use my sister for a paperweight now. Little brother was fun to mess with his head. Just telling him strange things like, you know, ketchup packets in restaurants. Everybody collects these things. I don't know, my mom collects these things, puts them in the door of the refrigerator, they stay there until they grow their own legs and walk away. Open the door, it's like... I figured, not into rednecks. Adam's apples, I know. Ordinarily, I would tell people that that's my friend, but not tonight. So I decided, with nothing else left to do, I did the typical middle-class American thing. I started experimenting with drugs, and this happened to my hair. But I don't know. I hear about the drug. I get the drugs problem. Cool it. Hear about the drug problem. That's like always in the news, right? The drug problem. I never see any problem with drugs until someone tries to take them away from somebody. That's when the problems start. Also, you know who started this crusade too, which really pisses me off? Nancy. Nancy started the crusade. Doesn't she? Can't she just like decorate the White House or something and stay out of my fucking hair? And this is a real apt lady to be crusading against drugs, right? She hasn't seen the bottom of her Valium bottle since '63. She's gonna wake up one day and go, now come on, who am I really married to? That guy, Reagan's Coyote Ugly, I'm telling you. I'd chew my arm up if I woke up with him. You know Coyote Ugly? You have your arm around the girl, she's so damn ugly, you have to chew your arm off rather than wake her up. Yeah, that's right. Crack, though, that's a big thing. I'm still waiting to see crack. I want some. I haven't seen it yet. I hear all these statistics, and I see nothing. I see lots, you know, you see, you know, just the usual pot, coke, etc. I haven't seen crack. I want some. I'm going to bring it with me, start giving it out at my shows. Won't make me any funnier, but it'll keep you guys coming back for more. Oh, come on. What's wrong with a little sick joke? It's a joke. It wasn't sick enough. It wasn't sick enough. Mister, I'm going to have to go into dead baby jokes for you now, right? But one day in the audience, like some guy said something like, well, we didn't have these problems in the good old days. So I'm like, okay, well, what do you mean the good old days? I tried pinning them down. He's like, well, turn of the century. Like, turn of the century, now wait a minute, correct me if I'm wrong, but they had opium and cocaine and every damn thing you could buy in a store. Where was the drug problem then? All of a sudden it's outlawed, we have a drug problem. It's like, I don't even want to hear that. But, girls have been giving me problems lately, too. Can't imagine why. You would think a young godlike man like me wouldn't have any of those problems. But I've been dumped a few times. Pisses me right the fuck off. But this one girl I was going out with, we were going out for a little while, and then she dumps me for this skinny immigrant, you know, this guy. And his only big lure was a lot of gold around the neck and a Platinum American Express. So yeah, there's a real deep relationship based on trust and loving. And then these guys, they have some real gall because I'm waiting on tables over in this place in Cranberry. They come to dinner one night and want me to wait on them. And I'm thinking, no, wait a minute. What you're saying is that you want me to spit in your food. Got it. Veal piccata and mucus. Coming right up. You love it. You'll be telling this at work tomorrow. So, all right, I get the dinner, bring it out. I did spit in one of them. I closed my eyes and just went for one. I want to be completely fair. So he pays with his American Express. I'm like, all right, I got you. I took his card number. So now, all I have to do is give the Relaxomatic bed people a call, order 40 copies of Dianetics, and the entire Civil War chess set collection. They'll be sorry they fucked with me. And then, you know, I'm back out on the streets again, looking to get laid. Guys don't care about love. We just want to get the old pee-pee wet. We don't care about any of that shit. And AIDS, you know, women will be a lot more nervous about contracting AIDS from a casual relationship than a guy. Because we figure, we're more worried about, I personally am more worried about someone thinking I'm a homo than having an incurable disease. And you know it's true. The guys are laughing, the girls are going, that's not funny. But I've done some weird things to get laid, I'm telling you. Like, you have to sit there and talk to these weird girls in bars for all hours. And then this one girl invites me back to her apartment. It's like, okay, yeah, we'll go back. She tells me that she has some animals. She likes animals. I'm like, all right, fine, I like animals too. Walk in the door, and it looks like a fucking minefield. She had a dog. I was expecting to see some kind of Great Dane come bounding out from the size of somebody's pile. It's a little dog. It weighs like 3 pounds. It's like, what do you feed this thing? And I'm walking through the whole apartment going, okay, I love dogs. I love dogs. And then finally I just stepped in the wrong place. I thought I was going to get a messy shoe. It was worse than that. This stuff was hard. It was like stepping on marbles. I slipped, killed myself almost. Then she's got a snake she wants to show me. She's got a snake. I'm like, okay, I don't mind reptiles. Nothing wrong with that. She wants me to hold it for a while. I'm like, okay, I'll hold the snake for a while. She's like, well, here, put him around your neck. I'm like, now, wait a minute. How well trained is this thing? And who was the last person it killed? But she's, no, he's nice, he's nice. And so she puts it around my neck. I'm like, okay, I can handle this. Snake's all right. I just can't really read anything in his expression, but I can get away with it. And then she's sitting there going, you know, he must really like you. I go, like, how can you tell? Well, you're the only one he hasn't bitten. Okay, get this roving penis off my neck right now. That's enough of that. So I'm going out with this girl now, who's she's all right, but I always keep hooking up with girls with animals for some reason. She's got this cat, which I don't mind cats. I like cats, but this cat has a little bit confused as to who's human in the household here. Humans are in charge. We feed you. You cool out. None of this walking around, shitting wherever you want to, and I have to be nice to it when she's there. I can't exercise my own brand of cat discipline, which is just teaching the thing to fly whenever it does something wrong. And the cat's always doing weird shit, like, it'll just sit there, watch TV, and all of a sudden, I'm supposed to be in the bedroom. And it'll do that constantly. And always one of the points where it lands and takes off again is my crotch. So I'm like, okay, that's enough. Then also, another thing that bugs me is, like, I don't mind, you know, it's nice that cats will always shit in one place, but clean the damn thing out! And she will not put in enough kitty litter for it to cover the shit up. And so I drop subtle little hints like, whoa, look at that, there's the Florida Keys. And there's the Delaware River. I can tell, it's still running. And so, and other things, like I'm trying to take a piss sometimes, and you gotta play goalie with the cat while you're trying to go. I'm like, get out of here. So I wait for her to go out of the room, like, okay. And this gave me an idea. It seemed like quite effective for cat discipline, so Cat plus cat repellent. But this stuff works great. Yeah, it does. All you have to do is hit a cat in the face with water, and it's like, it stops just whatever it's doing. It gets out of the room fast. Yeah, cat thinks I'm Clint Eastwood now. Come walking into the kitchen, I see the cat getting ready to do something like... You weren't thinking of shit in there, were you? And don't start looking at the garbage either. I used to be good at that. I can do it. But this is also great for, you know, you can command a lot of respect with this thing. Not just with cats, but with people too. Like, take off your glasses now. Take off your glasses. That dress looks like it could stain. Yes, you got 3 seconds. Take off the glasses. Yes. Oh no! 3, 2, 1. Ah! That's it. You didn't take off the glasses. I was nice though. I didn't go for the dress. I'd be getting some kind of cleaning bill. Oh, looks like you got a little excited. I'm sorry. These are fun now. I was thinking, although the cat might get immune to it sometime, you know, or just get a little used to getting water in its face all the time, so I'm going to start just leaving the glass plus in. Work a lot better. So now's the part of the show that everybody dreads. I need a girl with long arms. I see the volunteers are just... No, I'm serious. We need audience participation. I need someone to come up. How about you?
Yeah, all right,
Come on, you can walk it out that chair. All right, you ever see like do an improv thing in school where you're someone's hands? Someone puts their hands behind their back and you stick your arm through and you stick it, you'll catch on. Yeah, I picked the brain dead one. Okay, so all you do is like stick one arm through there and one arm through there, like that. You have to stand behind me to do this. She's catching on. Good. Okay. Now you have to put the like all the way up there so you can be my arms. Make sure your breasts flatten evenly against my back. Okay, a little bit forward. Okay, that's good. Okay, so we're gonna do a little more. Wait, how long have you known her? Have you known her a while? No, she's got a dick. Yeah, I knew that would get her in the spirit of things. Okay. So now, we're going to do a little warm-up. Now, if I was going to fix my hair in a wind, I was going to fix my hair because I don't have a comb, I would use my hands. There you go. Okay, that's not good. All right. So now my nose itches a little bit. Yeah, there's a booger in there too. You want to grab it? Okay, one more warm up. You know what Tarzan does when he yells, right? Good. Okay, on cue though. This is show business. Ready? Oh! You gotta pound hard enough to loosen up some phlegm there. Come on. There you go. I knew she'd get that idea. She likes that part. Okay, you can be a little more easier. You know, like kind of, try to be personality with your hands. It's like she's afraid to touch something. Okay, my arms are a little sweaty. I'm sorry. Okay, so now picture me. What's that word, Mike? Gendana. Okay, just picture me with a shirt kind of open down to there, a little more gold. Big Gendana. Yeah, big Gendana. Tight pants and a Trans Am or something sitting right over there. Right, I'm Tony. I'm hanging out in the corner of Chambersburg. Tony, fixing his hair. Fixing his hair. Looking good for the girls. Yeah. Okay, Italian guys grab the crotch a lot too to fix their hair. Not today, no. It doesn't itch. We'll leave it alone. Now, you're making me look like Richard Simmons. We don't stand like that. Okay. Everybody's a fucking comedian. Okay, don't try this at home, though. Especially with your little sister. Let me try it with your little sister. Okay, so we're hanging out, and they say, whoa, there's Donna. There's Donna over there. Donna with the big breast. 2 handfuls. Big breast. She's got a pretty nice buns too. Nice buns that I would usually grab down. She's looking pretty good there, right? Yo, Donna, you over there. Wait, I'm gonna have to point at you to single you out of the crowd. Yeah, come here. You come on over here. What you doing? Yeah, you wanna go? What are you doing tonight? Just kind of hanging around. You doing anything? I wanna go. What? I'm not doing anything either. I don't know what I'm doing. I'll see. Maybe we can get together. How about it? I just got a brand new Datsun 280Z with I always shift before I drive, and I'll fix that first. That's a nice car though. It's got leather seats. Leather is and I know girls like leather. My hands are a little wet though now. I'm getting sweaty just thinking about it. So I saw my friend Mike, got some good drugs. That's a great pot. Good pot. Good. And after I roll, yeah. Got some, cool, good blow. I found some blow like that. You wouldn't believe, yeah. Good shit, I'm telling you. So how about it? We'll go see a movie or something. We'll go see Platoon. Yeah, that movie about Vietnam. Yeah, Vietnam with the guns, with the big guns, the big pistols. Yeah, good movie. So what? How about it? What do you say? No. You're going out with who? He's a fag. He's a fag. He's an epileptic fag. Shit, fuck you. I'll go out with your sister because she's got nice big breasts. Well, she's got one big breast, so one that kind of fell off. The hell with you. Get out of here. Fuck you. All right, have a nice night. All right, I guess that's about all the comedy anyone can stand for one night. I'm going to go back and put on my neck brace like one last hand for all the other great people out here tonight. Courtney, Marlena, this guy, I forget the other. But have a nice night, and remember, drive fast, roads are slippery.
Is Courtney here? And Val.
Ken. Hey, Ken, yeah. I'm taking you hostage, baby. I'm Iranian, okay? Can you tell? Blonde hair, blue eyes, I'm Iranian. This is fun stuff. Hey, we're glad you all came. I just want to tell you this one story. It's hard getting work, and that's why people do stuff like this. I got out of college. I'm like, I gotta find something to do. What can I do? What can I do? I said, I know what I'll do. I know. I don't want to go into education. I know that's a joke. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to become a professional wrestler. Yes, I can do it. Yes, I'm going to go out and find myself a manager. I found myself the best manager there was. He was tough. He was a tough manager. And he said, kid, I'm going to train you. I'm going to make you a champion. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be a champion. Okay. So I went out and had a bunch of bouts, and I'm winning. I'm undefeated. Finally, we get a bout with the Russian Bear. Okay? I'm back in the locker room. Then my kid, you're the best I ever trained. You're tough. You're mean. You're good looking. You're tough and you're mean. And so, kid, whatever you do, though, kid, whatever you do, don't get in the pretzel. I'm like, okay. Don't get in the pretzel. Don't get in the pretzel. All right, kid, go out there. Go get him. Go at him. So I get into the match. 10 seconds go by. Not only is the Russian Bear got me in the pretzel, he's all slapped up. My manager can't take it. He looks away. All of a sudden, there's a roar from the crowd. He spins back. Not only have I broken out of the pretzel. Superman, what? I've broken out of the pretzel. I've got the Russian Bear on his back. They slapped the mat back in the locker room. My manager said, kid, how'd you do it? 10 years, no one's ever broken out of the pretzel. How'd you do it? Well, he had me in the pretzel, and he had this arm up like this, and he had this leg stuck up here like this. And just before I passed out, I saw the 2 biggest balls I've ever seen. So I bit them. And you don't know how strong you get when you bite your own ball. And I'm okay. Fine work. But it's one other thing I want to say. One other thing I want to tell you. This is kind of cozy, we're kind of having a good time down here. Peacock basement, okay? And I thought, you hear that the stories about all those handicapped people. People are picking on handicapped people. And they said, what do you call a guy who's got this, and what do you got to call, And I think, hey, what if you got them all in the same room, okay? A lot like this, you guys got the feeling. And I'm sitting there talking, and I said, hey, what do you call a guy with no arms and no legs in the middle of the lake? So I turned to my friend Bob, and I said, hey, Bob, what do you call a guy with no arms and no legs in the ocean? He didn't know, so I turned to my friend Skip, and I said, hey, Skip, what do you call a girl with no arms and no legs that gets hit by a car? And he didn't know, so I turned to my friend Sue, and I said, hey, Sue, what do you call a guy with no arms and no legs at the front door? She didn't know, so I opened the front door and said, hey, Matt, what do you call a guy with no arms and no legs at the bottom of a pit? He didn't know, so I turned to my friend Phil, and I said, hey, Phil, what do you call a guy with no arms and no legs nailed to the wall? He didn't know, so I turned to my friend Art, and I said, Hey, Art. What do you call a guy with no arms and no legs? Halfway down Tina Turner's throat. I don't know, sir. I turned to my friend Mike and I said, hey Mike, what do you call a guy with no arms and no legs halfway down Liberace's throat? He didn't know, so I turned to my friend Dick and I said, I'm glad to have him all here. It's sort of how life is. We had a good time here. But it is getting late. We were good. I got one more story I can tell you. You want to hear one more story? Yeah.
Wade, Wade.
That's what they're saying at work. I just got fired. They're like, bring back Wade. It was fun. All right, this is an old story. But I want to tell it because I enjoy telling it. It's sort of like an audience participation, and you probably heard this story before because it's an old story, but I want to tell you because I enjoy it. So anyway, there's this fire. There's a lady up at the 10th story, and she's got her baby. And she's up there, and she's, help me, I got my baby, you gotta save my baby. Fireman comes running up. Lady, throw me the baby, I'll catch it. No, you won't catch it, baby. Lady, I was an all-pro tight end. Throw me the baby. I didn't drop a pass, 37 straight games. Throw me the baby. He finally talks her into it. She drops back. She fakes to the bureau. Drops back. She throws out the window. He gets caught in the wind. The fireman starts running. He's running. The crowd hushes. He reaches out on his fingertip. He catches the baby. Should I? He turns on the crowd goes wild and he spikes the baby! Play for the Giants. Now, we want to thank you all for coming. This is Pat Carowin's Comedy Caravan, okay, under the production of Dick Landis. We're at Cottrell's every Friday night. 2 shows. We're trying to figure out around either 8:30 after dinner show and at 10 o'clock. Okay. Hey, Guido, how you doing? Hey, Rocky, yo, okay. Okay, Spot's still on back there in the corner. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, hey, we're at Cottrell's Friday night, 8:30 after dinner show and 10 o'clock bar show. And then we're here every Saturday night, starting about 8:30, and we can have 2 shows. We can have, depends how many people show up. We have 1 show. We're flexible, but we're having a good time. So, thank you very much for coming. If anybody's interested in becoming a comedian, come look for us after the show. Mingle with comedians. Take a comedian home with you tonight. Hey, thank you very much. Thanks for coming.